Hi, my name is Vex, and today I made a fiscally irresponsible decision. I decided to purchase more DLC for Space Engineers. Now, in my last video, I had decided to converse about my community outlook. We have a bunch of different people in sub-communities and just main communities. We have the builders, the modders, and then we have Cube and Circle, which is really a joke, which was coined by Last Stand Gamers in I think 2018, 2016. The date kind of falls apart. But what I would like to talk about today is how Keen is currently shifting to more and more payments. Now, I agree with DLC. I really do. I think they deserve the money that they're making. I just kind of disagree on how many people are being left behind. I mean, don't get me wrong, $5 isn't a lot, but whenever you're talking about people who have played this game for a decade, maybe shorter, we're kind of sick of it. Just a little bit. This. This is what they decided to give us this year. I say this year because the last time that they updated was actually last year. It's a technicality, I know, but I still think it's pretty funny. I mean, if you look on the left, we have the update, which is everything you need for it. I personally have had a lot of fun trying out all these new blocks that they've added. Then on the right, we have a little bit of a problem. Now, this doesn't come up for players who just want to enjoy a single player world or maybe a PvE server. But for PvP servers, this is dangerous. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a video game, but for the balancing act, most people just have empty corridors nowadays. I mean, sure, that's if you're in a situation that allows for that, but I mean, this changes how armor is set on your actual ship itself. It's not just, oh, I'm done. It's, oh, I have a little bit left that I can be shot at. On the top and the bottom, these two are very, very similar images, but the bottom uses the new signal corridor. Now, this doesn't add much, and honestly, I'm slightly bitching, but whenever we sit here and actually look at the damage, it's a little bit different. I mean, these are the tiny things that add up to big things. So, the top, you get shot through the wall, takes, I think, maybe 15 mags. I wouldn't say mags, but I'd say it takes whatever it takes. The bottom, you get shot, stays compressed, which is pretty big in PvP. In PvP, you want a compressed ship. You want this because your helmet has to stay off for you to keep your energy high. And that's one of the things that I won't say amateurs don't get, but I would say that most people don't converse about. You want to keep your signals off, you want to keep your flashlight off, your helmet open to stay alive longer. And, people run around and they do these suits. They do suit attacks, which are cheap, easy. You spawn in with tools on some servers, so it's not like you're missing anything. But we don't actually talk about what this means. I mean, we're sitting here and we're just letting Keen take care of basically everything we want. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Keen. I've been, playing their game for around 10 years now, since before they even had survival back in 2014. They're doing good work. I mean, don't get me wrong, they got sold out once, from my knowledge, if I remember correctly. And they changed, most of their devs around, and some people left, but it's not like other studios don't have that same problem. I think my only criticism actually comes from needing to pay $5 every couple of months. And I'm gonna do it because I love the game, but I don't want to do it. And if I could choose to do something else, or if I could decide to play another game the same way I play this game, then maybe I would. And I just have to sit here and realize, okay, are we ever going to get just a massive content update? I know we're working on Space Engineers 2. I know that we're watching this go along very, very slowly, but it'll have water physics, so how can I complain? I think the biggest thing is I just want people who are going to be coming to this community as the Signals update comes out understand what the modders and what the people who've been playing this game for years have been dealing with. Now, I like Keen, but they deserve some criticism once in a while. And the way that they're changing PvP and PvE, just just how it is. But doesn't mean I can't complain about it. It's been like this for years. They changed it. It was okay back then. They changed it. I mean, they killed off close to 15 to 20 of the best modders for their game because they decided we'll give you the tools to edit, but we won't give you the source code like we did with our other game, Medieval Engineers. Now, I'd like to converse about this community that I'm a part of specifically, the building community. I know that for us, it's going to be very easy to just add these to our ships or whatever. I mean, I have about 101 different things I'm going to have to add just based on the past couple of DLCs I've purchased. But I think for those in the PvP community, which I'm also a part of, to just, I don't know, I think you need to decide how you want to decide it on your own. Decide to do what you want to do. And, circling back, us in the building community kind of hate it. I mean, that's a personal opinion, but I kind of want some substance to our updates. Now, I like the idea of being able to send information back and forth, like you should have been able to since the beginning of the game. It means I can finally have a garage door opener, which I've been waiting for 3 or 4 years. But what I'm missing is definitely going to be filled in by scripts and by mods and all of the other different things that you do just to continue playing. Personally, I don't play on PvP servers anymore because the community is dying. We don't have a lot of people that play this game, which is kind of a lie, but it's also not. We have us. We have the people that sit here. We have the YouTubers, we have the people that mod, and then we have the realistic players. And, oh god, don't get anywhere near them with any new DLC. They stay on one version of this game and one version only. But I think most of what I'd like to complain about, or what I'd like to converse about, is how this changes. It doesn't stop us from playing the game. It doesn't stop anyone from playing the game. And I recommend the game to everyone I talk to, whether that be people I know or people who haven't purchased it yet. I recommend it because it's my favorite game. I've thrown 5,000 to 6,000 hours into this game. I mean, that was over 10 years, so it's not like I'm doing it every day. But the times that I spent sitting there with friends building these elaborate and stupid things were enjoyable. And I just think that maybe if they took a second and added a little bit more to the updates and decided to move a little bit away from making it impossible for people to actually play the game in some communities if you don't have the purchasables, then maybe they'd have a bigger community than they do right now. Because less than 3 years ago, we had, I think it was 25,000 people playing daily. That's a lot of people. I mean, it's not a massive amount comparatively, but that's a lot of people. Now, I'd like to take the last minute of this video to actually thank King. As much as it might seem I hate them, I truly do care for this dev team. I mean, a lot of the people that I enjoyed in the first part of their journey have left, but the people who've stayed and the people they've possibly decided to become to continue working on this game in the next game, I gotta thank them for it. I mean, I know being a game dev isn't easy. I know people complain. I know that you're not gonna get everybody's approval, mine included, but they haven't stopped working on it. They haven't decided they're done. They haven't quit just because they don't want to deal with it anymore. And they have a small community of dedicated people behind them. I would also like to thank most of the YouTubers that have actually decided to stay with this game. It's a pretty big game. I know that the, what, 35 gigabytes that it actually is doesn't really tell the whole story, but the hundreds of hours and the thousands of hours that people have put into it just for in pure enjoyment is actually something that we need to talk about. Because a game is a game, but whenever people decide to flow into that game to be around that game, they're they're a community. That's just how it's going to be. And I think for the most part, most people don't actually want to be part of a big community, and I'm glad. I like our small community. So once again, thank you, Keen,